All right, if you're watching this video, that means that you are interested in becoming an adult assistant scheduler for our K through 5 ministry. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out some of the details of what's involved with that. But first, I want to touch base on this role and the value that it actually brings to the entire K through 5 ministry, to the kids, to what we're doing as an ecosystem. Sometimes administrative roles such as this can feel downplayed when it comes to how the church values different ministries. But one thing that I've really learned is if you don't get this component right, it doesn't matter how gifted of a minister you have, gifted of a preacher, healer, anything like that. If we can't align people to be where they need to be when they need to be there, we're going to have a lot of problems. And so the challenge here is to get past the idea that, oh, this is just a small administrator role, to actually seeing the spiritual weight and value behind it. So I just wanted to start out with that, letting you know that this is actually a really important piece of making sure that our K through 5 gatherings run smoothly. So let me break down what is involved with this role. The first thing that you're going to be doing is, well, let me give you an overview first. First, it's basically figuring out who is going to serve as an adult assistant when. That's just the general understanding of what we're doing here. The practicality with it is I suggest that you schedule 2 months in advance and 2 months at a time. And there's a reason for this. One is 2 months in advance gives people enough time to really be able to block out time in their schedule, but it's not so far away that it's just like, I have no idea. Now, I know a lot of people still don't know what they're doing in 2 months from now, but since we're doing these on a sort of monthly basis, it seems like that's probably a good time frame to have. And then I like to do 2 months at a time because one, that cuts our work down in half if we were trying to schedule this just monthly, and two, it gives the ability to kind of be flexible with, hey, maybe this person needs to serve twice this month and then, not serve it all the next month, or you can have a little bit more flexibility with how you actually schedule the adults. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take a look at our template that has the adult assistant schedule on it, and go ahead and take a look at the people who are listed there and reach out to them. Reach out and say, hey, I'm about to schedule, January and February of 2025. Are there any days, Sundays, that you're not going to be at the gathering? That'll help you kind of eliminate right from the start some immediate roadblocks on times that people can't meet. After you have that information, it's as simple as just starting to plug in the schedule. And what you can do is you can put people in trying to keep a relative balance about how much everybody's doing. We don't want to put one adult assistant in for like every week 1 month and then no weeks the next month. We want to give them a little bit of a balance between what they're doing. Similarly, we don't want to load somebody up with, hey, you're serving for the next 6 weeks with this and this other person's only serving once. Unless there's some specifically stated information ahead of time that would give you a reason why that needed to be the case, we're trying to balance everything out as much as we can. So after you create the schedule, the next thing you'll do is you'll just share it. Share it with everybody who's involved and say, this is what I'm looking at. Is this all good on your end? And here's the important part. Really push for a confirmation. Really make sure that you've heard from everybody that, yes, this currently works for me. That's going to be important because you don't want to come close to the day and realize like this one person never saw the text. They'd have no idea that they're supposed to be on there. We want them to really take ownership of this and confirm that they know a day they're supposed to be serving as an adult assistant and that they're willing to do it that day. And then the last thing, this is just the inevitable nature of scheduling anything. There's going to need to be iterations, and you'll be the person responsible for that. So let's say that you schedule an adult assistant for a couple months ahead. At this time, everything looks good. They confirm what's good to go. And unfortunately, they have a family member pass away, the week before, and they're going to be gone at a funeral that weekend. In that case, you're going to be the one that they will communicate with, and then you will begin to communicate with the other adult assistants to work out who can cover that shift, if you need to switch a shift with the person that's going to be gone with the new person. However that ends up working, it's going to be on you to really be able to figure that out for the months that you have scheduled. So it's about as simple as it gets when it comes to the scheduling process. There are not a ton of details, but there are a few that you really want to make sure that you hit. Specifically, like I said, reaching out ahead of time, making sure that you share the schedule, get a confirmation, and then be willing to iterate as time goes on.